So one of the first things I do in the morning, I check my news feed to see what's going on, and I check to see what's going on my socials. And sometimes you see stuff that surprises the hell out of you, and that shocks you so much. It's like, man, this can't be happening again. And the reason and how this ties into Sonya Massey, this TikTok creator by the name of Pink, let's say Nerdy Pink Panda. She does a lot of news commentary and things of that nature, and she put out a story about a young kid that was tragically taken away from us too early by the name of Terrell Miller. Let me go ahead and play her video right quick.
Sonya Massey by the police in Springfield, Illinois. But did y'all know that her 4-year-old cousin, Terrell Miller, was also unalived by police in March? In fact, the day after Sonya Massey's body cam footage came out, it was announced that the police officer that shot and unalived Terrell Miller was not going to be facing any charges or discipline. They are using Sonya Massey to cover up this announcement. Nick Goc also did not attempt to do any first aid on the 4-year-old that he had just unalived in the chest. And here's the thing, Lieutenant Nick Goc also knew Terrell's mother. He had been trying for years to hassle her. Here's what happened that night. On March 16th, Terrell's mother's highly intoxicated ex-boyfriend strong-armed his way into their home, telling her that if he couldn't have her, nobody could. He proceeded to spend hours essaying her at knife point. When the police were finally called, they spent 10 minutes outside of the door, not attempting to come in. Lieutenant Nick Goc was the superior on scene who made that call. When they finally broke down the door, they found Kiana on the floor in a puddle of her own blood. She started screaming, "Save my baby, save my baby." At that point, when she said that, he held the weapon to her, the woman bleeding out on the floor. Instead of neutralizing the man holding a knife, they let him walk across the room into the child's bedroom. When he appeared, he was holding 4-year-old Terrell Miller in his arms with a knife against his throat and against his stomach. And with no regard for the child's safety, Nick Goc fired through Terrell, unaliving both he and the perpetrator in one bullet. The body cams will be released next week, probably Monday. When Kiana woke up in the hospital, she was informed that her son did not make it. She then had to recover from 27 incisions from that knife. There will be a protest in Macomb Monday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Sonya Massey's killer is in prison. Terrell's killer is not. And I'm going to be covering this story hard this week, so please say Terrell's name for Sonya's sake.
So when I saw that, and I thought of a young kid, 4 years old, seeing his mother being assaulted the way she was, and then tragically losing his life. He lived his last moments of his life in complete and utter fear and terror. And that's a tragic way to go out. I would never hope that for anybody. And we all saw how that happened with Sonya. And her last words was, "I'm sorry." I don't think that should be anybody's last words. And who knows what that kid was feeling at that time whenever he saw this happen to his mother. And then the man who assaulted and hurt his mother is holding him and losing his life in the arms of the person that hurt his mother. I was really upset, and I was going to go on a rage rant about this, and I'm still really upset about this. However, her name is J. Megan. She put up an update about this too.
Hey everyone, so this is one of those moments as a journalism where I have to take accountability for when I accidentally put out wrong information. So as it turns out, Terrell Miller is not actually blood related to Sonya Massey. This wasn't a deception or trying to piggyback off of another family's tragedy, I promise. It was just a genuine misunderstanding on a lot of people's parts. After I made the video yesterday about Terrell Miller being cousins with Sonya Massey and it started to go viral, one of Terrell's mother's family members reached out and informed Kiana that they weren't actually cousins. It was one of those situations where the family would come to family events and you would call them cousins, but they weren't actually. And last night, after she found out, she immediately messaged me and I took my video down. It was in the middle of the night, so I wasn't going to get up and make a video right away, so that's why I'm making it this morning. And I take responsibility on my own part in this mistake. You see, Sonya Massey's family, I actually do have friends in common with them, and they are all from Macomb, Illinois, where I went to school for a couple of years. And that's where Terrell and his mother lived. It's a very small town of only like 15,000 people, so we all thought, and it was a genuine mistake. But that does not change what happened to Sonya. And it does not change what happened to Terrell. It doesn't change the fact that the person who unalived him is not being disciplined in any way. And it does not change the fact that on July 8th is when they made the decision that they weren't going to charge that police officer. 2 days after what happened to Sonya Massey. And they literally waited until the body cam footage from Sonya was released to release this information in order to cover up what happened to Terrell. So that the outrage from Sonya Massey would overshadow what happened to Terrell. So again, I apologize to everybody, especially to Sonya's family. When I make a mistake, I own up to it. But please, don't let that stop Terrell's story from getting out there. Because nobody is talking about him.
Now, when I went ahead and looked at her TikTok page, and she has a quite a bit.
Hey everyone,
of
so this is one of those moments.
On there, excuse me. And I looked at a lot of videos. A lot of her videos are pretty much her reporting about stuff similar to this. And to be honest, she did report on Terrell's incident when it happened back in March, I want to say, close to it. So she's been on top of it the whole entire time. People do make mistakes, so I'm not taking that away from her. However, that doesn't change what she said at all, right? It is very tragic what happened to that young man. And let's just clarify something. You know, in most black communities, as far as I know, when we call somebody a cousin, they're our cousin. It doesn't matter if you're blood related or not. But I understand why they went ahead and put that out there to make sure that they wasn't piggybacking. I get that. However, I did find the news article where they went ahead and discussed that the footage. A decision to not charge the officer comes after prosecutors in Macomb County recently charged sheriff's deputy with 3 counts of first-degree murder in the shooting death of Sonya Massey on July 6. The decision to charge the officer came 11 days after the incident was stemmed from a report of an intruder at Massey's home in Springfield. So I put the full article in there. It did say in there that they did review the body cam footage. And after reviewing the body cam footage, they decided not to charge the officer, Nick Goc. And Nick Goc has a pretty long, extensive history when it comes to his service. Now, I went ahead and just looking up to see what I could find about Nick Goc in the particular area that he was in. And you can see that he's been an officer for over 17 years. He specialized in firearms safety. He worked at Homeland Security and all kinds of things of that nature. And he has a very long resume. That's his LinkedIn profile. So you would think with somebody that teaches gun safety, we'd be able to handle that situation. Now, from what we have third-hand reports of what's going on right now. We don't know what actually happened because we haven't seen that body count footage. And if it does, I decide to come out next week, which I don't see it would. The only reason because the Sonya Massey thing is still very fresh. It's extremely fresh, and that's not going anywhere anytime soon. So I don't think they want to put out body cam footage this close to show another incident of a police officer potentially not doing their job properly and unaliving somebody young. Now, there was already a notice when Sonya Massey's case came out to businesses and businesses in large that there may be a potential riot and they have questions and all this other kind of stuff to call this number to take measures. Now, if you have Sonya Massey's incident, a woman who was saying, I'm sorry, and being, taken down by a man who shouldn't have been an officer. I actually have a lot more information about that was sent to me. I'll put another video about. And you have this kid coming out. Illinois is going to be on fire. I mean, let's just call it for what it is. You can't have 2 tragedies of innocent people, especially innocent young boy, and not have a fire erupted in that area. And then I was also curious, how far away is Illinois, Macomb and Macomb County is from each other. And I guess I could make this a little bigger. They are not too far from each other at all. It's only an hour and 47-minute drive. And I say only an hour and 47-minute drive because if you think about it, people will drive a lot further away for employment opportunities. I remember when I was younger, I met a woman who drove from Mississippi to Florida to get a job, and she would beat that job every single day, 2 hours back and forth. So it's not out of the realm that people or officers who may have worked in one location or bounced from another location, or they do cross training between each other. Sometimes have people that be specialized, like, hey, I brought my friend in for this department. He's going to help train and show X, Y, and Z. The only reason I know this because I was thinking about being a police officer when I was younger. So the two counties that was pretty much bordering each other, you'll see them come and cross train and all this other kind of stuff. So it's not too outside the normal from my experiences firsthand. So again, somebody that's an hour, 47-minute away, I could see them making that try to help train, which kind of goes back into the Sonya Massey situation, that if this man, again, who supposedly made a grave mistake in shooting a young kid, according to what the pink panel lady said, the guy, I think his name was Anthony, was holding the kid, and he chose to shoot through them both. I'm not sure it was one of those situations where Anthony was threatening to hurt the kid and was making a motion to, and he went ahead and decided to go ahead and fire off. But I guess we're going to see soon. And whatever's going to be in that video, it could be the lighter that hits the gasoline. Now, the final thing I want to go ahead and show on this before I go ahead and get off here right quick is that I did see there was a GoFundMe. Now, again, I didn't know about the story. It was very well, I won't say covered, but not really reported on, because initially when I went to Google to look into this, I really didn't see too much about it. I had to go through another search browser to find actual information about this. And this kid had a GoFundMe. And granted, they met their goal and it's closed, but I mean, I just feel like that family may need further help in some way, shape, or form. But that's just my opinion and thoughts on this situation. It's very tragic. It hurts my heart. I'm a father myself. So the idea of a young man being taken away, not being able to experience life, I mean, hell, I'm almost 40. I think I'm still young. And I could reflect back on my years from 40 to 4. And I think about all the things I got to learn and experience, the joys and the sadness I get to have, and the years I may have after that. And then compare it to a young boy who hasn't even got to start his life yet. And looking back at that article that I showed earlier, the boy's birthday, if you compare it to the GoFundMe, his birthday was on July 18th, so he actually passed away. Terrell Miller passed away before his birthday, so he would have been 5 years old now. 5 years old. That's when you actually start formulating your lifelong memories. So this kid was taken away from the world at 5 years old. You might as well call him 5. It's an evil world that we live in. And I'm not saying or pushing any particular type of religion, but you got to have some type of strong base somewhere. If it's not believing in your ancestors or believing whatever religious figurehead you may do, you got to have something else to hang on to, because this world is evil. It's dark. And it's unforgiving. And then the most tragic part is this being black in this area, on this planet, in the United States. It is such a thing to be used to weaponize against us. You know, we got deep voices. It could be seen as aggressive when we're upset. They always see us as something that we're not. They always see us more than human. And, you know, I want to leave on this. If you ever doubt that racism exists, if you ever doubt that the world is not evil, go on Twitter. You will see so many people that made excuses for Sonya Massey execution that clearly didn't watch the footage. There will be so many people that blindly support these politicians. I say politicians plural because I don't agree with both Kamala and Trump. But they more deify Trump, and that's even more scary. Well, if you made it this far, like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys have a great day. If you have a family member give them a hug, because I think everybody needs a hug every once in a while. And this is just something that we just can't let go. I appreciate the people next to you.